her length is something defensively that I think can kind of cause havoc, so we're excited about that. And then our last transfer is Kylan Dawkins. Kylan played at Division II Western Oregon, so those guys are from a long ways away, right? But a 10-point a game, 7 rebound a night scorer for the last 2 seasons. Again, long, athletic, has done a really good job defensively of making things difficult for our post players in practice. Probably the biggest thing for her is just continuing to understand the pace of the game. Not the speed of the game, but the pace of the game and the physicality. But from the first time that she stepped on campus to now, those strides have been huge. So all 5 of those players kind of fit what we were looking for, right? We got bigger, we got longer, we got more experienced, and that allows us to be a lot deeper really at all 5 positions. The other 3 new faces are all freshmen. Julia Solberger, who again, if you guys have heard me talk, you'll never hear me call her Julia again, because nobody calls her Julia. We call her Bubba. And I don't even think she introduces herself as Julia. So Bubba was a point guard out of Peoria at Dunlap High School. You know, and I mentioned that she'll get an opportunity to learn from, in my opinion, the best point guard in the MAC. So I think her being able to have to go up against Shelby every single day is just going to accelerate her process as far as preparing down the road for what she'll be able to do for us. Mackenzie Brass is out of Manuka, a bigger, stronger guard. Is physical, so it definitely doesn't shy away from any of the contact, so the physicality of the game will not be an adjustment for her. Again, it'll just be an opportunity. She's going to have a chance to learn from some great wings that are ahead of her in that upperclassmen class. And then the last freshman is an all-stater out of Sycamore who loves to shoot the basketball. I can tell you she's been doing it well. She has not been shy about that. So if we have to reel that in a little bit, great, but she's done a great job, and her transition has been fairly seamless. Not that it's not hard for all freshmen, but she feels like she's just getting to be a bigger part of the family. So that's been a lot of fun to watch her continue to get herself ready to go. Oh, her name was Lexi Carlsen. So looking at the schedule a little bit, like I mentioned, Sunday is our first exhibition game against Benedictine. It's at 1 o'clock. And I know that the players are definitely looking forward to that. And then November 4th is our official opener. So November 4th is a Monday. It's Education Day, which means it's an 11 o'clock tip. All of you should definitely play hooky and come to the game. You might want to bring earplugs just to make sure that you can kind of stay sane and not get a headache. Tony, how many people are we going to have there? 5,000? Okay, that's the goal. Okay, so there will be a bunch of elementary school screaming kids. We will just make sure that they understand that they need to cheer for the team in the white jersey. That sometimes is a challenge, but I know that it's going to be great and they're going to have a great time. So that's an 11 o'clock opener against Louisiana out of the Sun Belt. So the opener the last 2 years, and the contract is still for another 2 years, is going to be against a Sun Belt school. So we get a chance to be at home against Louisiana, and then there's a game in mid-February where we will go to a Sun Belt school yet to be determined based on how teams are doing within their respective conferences. And then it's a big week for us because 2 days later, and everybody loves to talk about it, we're going to get the opportunity to go to Iowa City and play Iowa. I think the ring ceremony and Caitlin's banner reveal is all going on that night, so there'll be a lot of hoopla around that game in Iowa City on November 6th. If you don't have tickets yet, good luck. I wish I could help everybody here who is still struggling to find a ticket, but unfortunately I don't think that's going to happen. And then some of the notable home games that we have, so we'll play home games against St. Thomas, against UIC, against Idaho State, and then against Viterbo, which is a game that we'll play right after the holiday in preparation for MAC play. So some really good competition as far as games that we can see at home. And then on the road, we're going to go to Chicago State, to Milwaukee. We're going to take a trip down to Columbia, Missouri, and play Missouri, so that will be a lot of fun. And then we have a tournament in Lexington where we will play Indiana State and Eastern Kentucky. So that will kind of round out the non-conference. As far as the MAC is concerned, you know, again, rosters are so different. Ball State was picked to win it. They returned 4 or 5 of their starters, so that makes a lot of sense. You know, they won 28 games or 27 games last year, so they're picked to win the league. Kent State was a close second. Again, Kent won the tournament last year, returns 4 of their starters as well. So I think those two make a lot of sense. The rest of it, we'll just have to see what happens, right? We feel like we're in contention to be in the top. You know, they picked us tied for 6th. That's fine. I think, again, they forgot that Shelby was back and they don't know a lot about our roster, but that just gives us something to prove. But I think it's going to be another great year in the MAC as far as every night you better bring your A game or crazy things can happen, right? Before we bring our captains up, again, I just want to thank you guys for being here, and I'll open it up for questions before I bring Andy back to the mic and let him do his thing. So, does anybody have questions for me? None? I know you all have questions when I stand back up here after we've played.
Okay, I have a question. So,
yeah.
Coming off United News' nice upset of Notre Dame, saw a couple players there all excited. They said they guaranteed an upset like that this year. So which game is that going to be?
I mean, most of them would tell you Iowa, right? Like, what's it going to take to go to Iowa and win, just like the football team went to Notre Dame and won? I mean, I guess no luck needed, right? You just are the best version of yourself. I can take all of Thomas's quotes and tell you all about how that's going to happen. And then they feel like they're going to get Shady Ray sunglasses and all is going to be right in the world. So I guess Iowa. If it doesn't happen at Iowa, then maybe Missouri. Other questions? All right, awesome. Andy, it's all yours.
All right, if I can have the players come up. Yeah. And if you missed anything of what Coach said, Lisa's going to join me on Inside Husky Football tomorrow from Patty's at around 12:30. So you can hear it all again. All right. Don't be scared. You've all done it before. This is always my favorite part because I get the chance to talk to 3 players who I've known for pretty much a long time now. And we'll introduce them just so they get around me. I'll start on the far. Cinema Craig, number 2, 5th-year grad student from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Give it up for Cinema. In the middle, number 10, Shelby Coker, 6th-year senior from Racine, Wisconsin. And as Coach said, 2nd team All-MAC preseason, number 34, Brick Stonebreaker, 5th-year grad student from Hotels. I'll start with you, Sydney, since you're on the first side. Talk to me about what it means to be a captain. Coach has talked about you're kind of like your voice of reason for this team. Have you always been that type of leader? Where's that come from?
I definitely think like it's a really big responsibility, but also a big opportunity for me. Just knowing we have like 8 new kids coming into the program, I really take it as my job, along with Shelby and Brooke here, to like help bring them along, teach them what it's like to be a part of our program, what it's like to be a part of our culture. And I think the nice thing about our captain group is that we're all really different leaders. We're different. We approach things differently. And I'm sometimes more like the level-headed. I don't like get super emotional, which is good in some situations and not so good in others. But I think that just kind of comes with like who I am and how like I approach things. And so I just tried to kind of go that route, and then like they bring like the energy and like the excitement and stuff.
I'll say, Shelby, for you, if Sid is the level-headed, where is you? Where are you as a captain? Where do you see yourself as a captain?
I would definitely say I'm the tough love kind of captain. I would definitely say that I just give it straight and direct, which again, Sid these two complement me very well.
Brooke, for you, this is your first year as a captain. What's it mean for the team to give you that status, and how do you feel yourself as a captain?
Yeah, it's definitely a different role that I've grown into. Even going from last year, getting more time on the court is still a different step up that I've been able to experience. like Sid said, she's more level-headed. I'm more of the energy bringer. I just love to go, 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 and maybe not think some things through all the time, which she does very well. But I will be the person that hypes you up in the weight room, on the court. So.
Brooke, for you again, started all 31 games last season. Led the team, 11 points per game, 9 rebounds, 49% from the field goal percentage. Named the third team All-MAC last year. Why? Why were you able to have that type of success your first year as a starter?
I think looking back on my whole career, ever since my freshman year, I've had the best support system. My freshman through senior year, my parents and my grandparents come to almost every single game in Ohio. And if one set of grandparents comes, the other set probably travels with them to the game, and I'm always going back on the bus with a gift basket from both of them. So they definitely spoil me, and then obviously growing as a player, my coaches, and then our strength staff, I think I've had the best strength and conditioning coaches since I've been here. Coach T and Rhonda especially, Francis my freshman year, but heck, they would get up at the crack of dawn with me at 5 a.m. To get in a lift before my 8 a.m. class. So I appreciate them and letting me always come in the weight room, even if it is at the crack of dawn.
Shelby, it's the number one question I get all the time. People ask me, how is Shelby doing? How is Shelby doing? So I will let you say it. Shelby, how are you feeling? Both physically and mentally. Physically, how are you doing? But also mentally, having to sit out a year and get ready for a season. Talk to me about that process.
I'll answer the easy part. Physically, I am good. I'm all healed. I'm ready to play. So no questions really about that. Mentally, I would say last year, of course, was challenging. I think it would be hard for any player to have to sit out. But I took it as what it was, and I tried to really learn as much as I could and still help the players who were playing. I think it was an opportunity in a way to just kind of like take the back seat and really learn from watching. I've been lucky in my experience as a player here that I've gotten to learn by playing. So I think last year was a little bit different of an experience, but very good for my growth as well.
Yeah. Sydney, for you, Coach talked about what the role was for you last year. What type of role do you want in this year's team?
You know, I think at the end of the day, like, my role is going to be like whatever the team needs, and honestly right now a lot of that is like kind of the intangible stuff, like the communication, making sure like everybody knows the play, knows what we're in. That kind of like is something that like I can utilize my experience and bring that unique aspect. So that's kind of what I'm looking to do, and especially look to grow. And I know when I came in here as a freshman, Coach had to ask me to like talk all the time, especially on the defensive end. And so I think I've just really taken that as something I need to improve on and really try to be better about that. And I know it's something that I'm not perfect at, but one of the things I'm going to continue to work on.
Brooke, for you, coming off a season like you did last year, how do you top it? How do you get better? How have you worked in the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, over the summer is huge. It's huge for the team too. Whenever we get together over the summer, it's huge for our team culture and then on the court as well. So I love the weight room. Everyone can probably attest to that. So getting stronger in that area, and then also focusing again on the basketball court as well. But more so to just bringing the team together, because you can't have just one person or two people or even the 5 starters make a difference on the court. You have to have the whole team.